Happy Monday, everybody. Today I want to share with you a technique that I saw on a video from Blanche Stamps, and I'm going to use this Blanche stamp. It's the Woman Collage, and Blanche stamps are really cool because they are made of silicone, so they're very, very, very detailed. And then they are just foam for the backing, and they're extremely light and don't take a whole lot of pressure to press and impress the print on it. I'm also using some specialty stamping paper. It's clay coated and it takes your image really well. I'm using some Evergreen Bow Distress ink and some Vintage Photo Distress ink. Put those up here. And archival ink as well, because I want the ink to dry without smearing when we put our other inks on. And I'm going to use some Glossy Accents, and I have my top stuck in there with a pin. So the first thing I'm going to do is ink up my stamp with the Archivers. And make sure that I get it very, very inky. And it's pretty easy to tell on these stamps. Okay, that's looking pretty good. A couple of more pounces just to be sure. Now, one thing I like to do is I like to, with a big background stamp, I like to take and put my stamp down this way and my paper here. So I'm going to do it like that. And then I hold on and hold the paper steady with one hand while I'm rubbing over the design with another. Now, this being a Blanche stamp, you might be able to get a really good, probably will be able to get a really good impression by doing it the conventional way, but I'm doing it this way today. And then I'm just going to lift that up, and you see we have a very nice, very detailed image. I cut my paper 5.5 by 7.5, and I have a 1-inch border all around the stamped image. Okay, then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to re-ink this stamp, and I'm only going to ink the areas with the clocks and the flourish. That's the only part that I'm going to stamp now. And I'm going to just stamp this right here on the edge. And I'm going to do that over and over, all around the outside edges of my stamped image. And it's okay to overlap. Some of the smaller part of these clocks in here. Yeah, I got a little bit close to her that time. So, okay, we have filled up the page. Probably too much, but now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to hit this with a dryer just to make sure that the ink is dry. almost forgot. I need one more ink color. I need the color Tattered Rose. Almost forgot that we're going to color in her face. Alright, so I've got my water brush, and I got water in it, and let's see if we can do a little better job here. I still do find that I need to re-ink my Tattered Rose ink pad because it's almost dry. Okay. I think I'm going to get a little bit of worn lipstick. And put just a little color down here. A little more color there. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a paintbrush. You can use just about anything you want to, really. And I'm going to take the Glossy Accent, and I'm going to put it on her too, but I want to give it a second for the paint to dry. But I'm going to pick out several of the clock images, and I'm going to cover them with Glossy Accent. So I'm using the paintbrush so that I can direct the Glossy Accents. This is a good paintbrush of mine, so I'm going to have to make sure that I clean it out immediately after I'm finished. So if you are afraid that you won't remember to do that, then be sure and use an old paintbrush or some type of glue brush. I'm not going to put it on the flourishes, just the clocks in the main images. Okay. And you know, even though I'm using this to spread, if I don't get it exactly in that circle, that's okay, because it's just going to make for more interest. Okay, going on around here. You can do all of these large clocks, or you can leave some out. I'm going to skip the ones down here. Almost all the way around now. And this partial one right here. And then now I'm going to go over my lady's face and neck. And what this is doing is it's creating a resist. And it also kind of spotlights and makes things up off the page, makes it pop. Okay, now I'm going to clean my brush out immediately, and I have a water basin over here with a soft brush in the bottom, and that works really well for me. But also another idea would be to use some hand sanitizer and put your brush in it, and also clean it out that way to make sure that you get everything out of it, and then wipe it dry. Okay, so then what we need to do is have the Glossy Accents dry. So let's dry again. Shouldn't take too long because we've spread it pretty thinly. Okay, now I'm going to let that cool down just a little bit. You can, if you hold it up to the light, you can see all the areas where you have spread your resist. And it should not be sticky to the touch. Alright, straighten this out just a little. Okay, next I'm going to come in with my evergreen bough and my vintage photo. And I'm going to mix these up a little bit. I'm going to just lightly go over some areas, and you will see that the Glossy Accents resists. And now I'm going to go over it with some vintage photo. The combination of these two inks together makes a beautiful vintage palette. It's just the right amount of patina and age. And now you see that we have the light colors, still we have the white where we put the resist with the Glossy Accents.